Good evening, Air Gunners. This is Air Gunner's Edge. Right now, I have the Hatsan 155 Torpedo in 25 cal. Very powerful gun. I'm gonna do a little segment on a couple of the guns that I do have that, well, just aren't what they should be. And not to say they're not bad guns, but they really need some help in just tuning and improving. The problem with this one, I'm not going to say problem. The function of this one is that it has a floating barrel. And very loose. The barrel moves. Up at this end, there is a brass bushing on the barrel itself. I'll do disassembly and I'll show you. Getting this off is a pretty good challenge. I loosen this up. You could use a hair dryer. Just warm it. You're not trying to melt it. And I'll take a nice hard piece of oak and a hard rubber plastic. And I won't lie, I had to hit it pretty hard and quite a few times to get this to move. But it did slide off and it came off. So these are on there pretty tough. So I won't lie about that if you are removing one. It's a little bit of a challenge. Take your time, and you will probably have to use some good force. Having another person hold the gun there, it works. I use my gun vise and a board against the wall to have it stop moving, but came off. Okay, and this does lock up very nice. Mine does. With the adjuster there, you can lock it up pretty good. So once you lock it, it's supposed to stay still, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. As far as movement, I guarantee there's some in there. And I do have POI shift in this, more than I'm happy with. Anyways, as far as the lever, I've already loosened this up. You can block the wood, damp towel, tin foil, whatever. And you can heat this up if you have, I have one of those small little torches, good for soldering and stuff like that, small flame. You can heat this up. There's usually Loctite on it, and I do recommend nail polish, crazy glue, or blue Loctite when you reassemble this so it doesn't fall off or loosen up. And you can use the same procedure, just warm it up and this will come off. A pair of vice grips with a piece of rubber, of course, wrapped around it, and this will come off. So we disassemble this by unscrewing it. And now that you have that unscrewed, probably it's not going to come out too good. Right where my thumb is, there is a set screw in there, and that must be removed to remove the barrel. It's not really that hard of a gun. It's just a little different, and everything in here is pretty much the same. If you've ever worked on another Hatsan, I got my 135, 125, my other 125. So they're pretty much all standard, not standard, but the same function. So Hatsan's easy once you get to know them. They're not bad to work on. The trigger, well, you got to do a couple of those to get good at them. I won't lie there. But now it's second nature to me, so. And I will do trigger work on this. I'll clean up the sears. I actually already have a longer set screws in here, but I'm not going to go into that. Ooh. Alright, took a little force, but this came out. Triggers are something I would rather teach someone that I know already has the skill to do it, because it's very easy to get yourself into trouble by not setting the sears correctly. And one good bump and it misfires, and wherever the gun is pointed is where it's going to shoot. So I try not to get into, don't even want the liability, so I don't get into talking about trigger work too much. Okay, I got that out. Now, yeah, I got more gun than I do have camera, and I apologize for that, but you'll see down here, maybe you won't see down here, but down the barrel there is a flathead screw on the top, and I believe you'll have to remove that. It's been a while since I've worked on this gun, to be honest. I don't want to scratch this nice, beautiful stock anyways. This is a beautiful gun, and this is the only torpedo that I would have gotten, and this was on sale, refurbished. It was the 155. Most powerful. I think I'm going to tune it down, but still a beast. And just an overall beautiful gun. But I knew kind of about the issues with the floating barrel. I've heard good reviews, and unfortunately, yep. Okay. There. I'm gonna have to take you down. I'm gonna move this, and you will see at the end of the barrel that slides out. You can see it's slotted. I can't remember how tight this was when I first disassembled, but I'm sure it was fun. So we're just going to get this, lock it this way and counterclockwise, and it will unscrew from here. That's where it's screwed into. But what I'm going to also do is I'm going to try to get some measurements on the barrel and the tube, and I am going to install O-rings. I want to see if that affects the POI shift and harmonics, and see if I can't get this gun a little more consistent to my, should I say, standards, I guess. I just want a better overall powerful gun. And I've got my 135 and 125 shooting amazing. I'm really hoping I can do the same with this. Right now this gun is great, probably to 50 yards. I just won't push it past that. The accuracy just isn't there in mine. Not to say others aren't bad, but mine is down to about 50 yards. I'm comfortable shooting. Okay, so it's a little pain in the butt to unscrew all this, but here is the inner barrel. I'm going to put that down for a minute. It is a little greasy. I remembered I did put some grease on there. And of course, alright, got some paper towels handy. And this is a moly grease that is on here, so if you're going to grease it, that's what I would advise. Moly is good for metal on metal. Alright, so here's this brass, and this gun was actually shooting horrible when I first got it. But what I did was take the clip off, pulled this brass piece out, and spun it around, and you can see almost a taper on it. I'm not sure if it was installed incorrectly at the factory and the taper was on the wrong side, but now that I put the thicker end down here, it seems to be a little more solid. So I'm probably just going to go, you know what else? Since this is like this, I'm going to pull that off. But, which I didn't even notice before, no crown. I mean, it does have this slot, and I don't know how that would affect it. But, alright, so I'm just going to remember this side was facing out so I can reinstall it later. Oh, let's see. Alright. This is always fun. these round clips, and I do it on the blanket, so hopefully it doesn't go flying off and I lose it. But trying to get under it is a pain in the butt. Yeah, I know. There are certain specialty tools you can get. Come on. Sorry, am I blocking? Not much to see, just me struggling to get this damn thing off. I think I got this off in the second try the first time. But it never happened if you got the camera going. Oh, and if you're in the US, then you might be getting hit by this cold front, which is dropping down to like 10s and 0s. So that's pretty much why I'm doing this. I'm not going to be shooting out in that kind of weather. Okay, anyways. I know somebody will post a comment on how to get these off easier, but... Oh, damn it. Almost had it. And you might even see a little blood if I miss, which I wouldn't doubt. Oh, there she is. And if I can get it. Oh, I gotta love it. We'll see if we can edit this out. And just go right to the part where I take the brass piece off. Or bronze, whatever it is, copper. This is really just not working out too well for me. A third hand would be handy because they could reach under and lift up the damn ring. Okay. Yeah. As long as it doesn't go flying off, I'm okay. Okay, finally. There we go. Wow, that was fun. Okay, apparently I didn't put any molly under this. That looks like factory. Smells like factory too. Okay. So I'm just going to put this back on, but even in here, not tight. I can wiggle this right around. Tolerances are pretty loose. Not really good. I mean, I understand if it does need some slide to move back and forth, but for me, that's I'm not comfortable, and I don't like that at all. Wonder if a Durlan, this is pretty thin, could be made though. Durlan, yeah, the plastic stuff. Durlan, sorry. Alright, so that's about 35 thousandths thick, and 36. Yeah, that says a little more. Yeah, about 36, 38. So, if you could make something a little tighter, that would probably work a lot better. I'd like to see something not slide on like that. Maybe something a little more push on. But yeah, because I can just feel the play in there. I'm not comfortable. I don't like that too much. But I'm going to try, kind of like my FX Streamline, I'm going to put some O-rings on here. Have a good lube, because it will be, every time I go to cock it, load it, this will be going back and forth. So maybe get some good O-rings, try it out, and see what it does to the harmonics, and if it just holds it centered in the barrel itself. Hold the barrel in the tube anyways, I should say. So I'm going to mic this out, see if I can find some O-rings. That was pretty much all I'm going to do tonight. Starting to get later. Oops. And oh yeah, you can take this right out. Should have shown you, but there's the threads, if you can see. That's all threaded inside, and that is your lock screw that stops it from spinning out. So, like I said, there is no crown on here, but I guess if you, the slots could act as a crown, let the gas come out, but that might disturb it also. I don't know. I'm not really, let me take a look at that. If you can look inside, it does look tapered, so, can't see anything here. But there is a taper inside. Fortunately, you can't really see it. Just about right there. So, I just don't know what this would actually do for disturbing the air around the pellet as it leaves. So, alright, well, that's all I wanted to do tonight. Looks pretty good down the barrel. Very even. And now that I have the barrel out, I will later on push a pellet through. See if it's tight at first, and then loosens up, and then tightens up again. And I'm just going to check how that pellet is, how much compressed it is. The more knowledge you have, the better off you are. Just to find out if the barrel is off, or if it's just the POI shift in the brass piece. So you just got to figure out your gun and just go through it completely. So I'm going to call that for a night. I'm going to do that, try that before I rip the receiver apart and do any trigger work. I'm going to put this all back together, see if I can get the O-rings, and we'll test it out, and I'll let you guys know how it performs, if it's a hitter or a miss, or if, well, anything and everything I come up with on this gun. It's a beautiful gun. I love it. It's Hatsan. It's heavy. I love it. The power, absolutely got the power in this thing. It was, I believe, 30 out of the box. And that was, I think, 25 grain. 25 or 34 grain, 25 pellets. So, alright guys, just a little tidbit here, and I'll see if I can finish this up and give you guys the results. Alright, good shooting. Anyone has the weather, and Until the next video.